Historically, I know we're upwards of 15 years of the event, so that's why it was important for us to keep going. It's our city's signature winter event. High on Ice is about getting people out of their homes and embracing winter. We're a winter city. We deal with the tough temperatures, the -30, but with that comes a lot of opportunity that people don't get in other communities. We ice fish here, we skate outside, we go snowmobiling, we cross-country ski. Last year we had dog sled rides, we have the soup stock event, we have the free hot chocolate, we have horse-drawn sleigh rides, and those are the things that we want to celebrate. We don't want to look at winter as a negative thing. We want to look at how we can take advantage of it and what we can do. The dark days and the cold temperatures can get tough, but if we put that positive spin on it and we get people out of their homes doing fun things, maybe new things that they've never tried, then we consider that a win.
I think the glamour of ice is really, it's sculpting light because it reflects its environment. So if you don't either capture the right facets, and it's difficult to make a good piece. If we can spark a bit of awe and then bring some magic, especially now, that'd be a good thing.
I think that what stands out about Fort St. John is we're actually a small community to put on something this large. We have wonderful staff that put on a real signature event for the community, and the community really gets behind it. It's really a huge celebration, so it's like a Canada Day in the middle of the winter. You know, it's a good time to be together. Everyone's bundled up because we know it's cold out there, and just enjoying the day.
High on Ice has been really good. They're like pretty much the best in Canada to work for. They really support us and treat us well up here.
You know, year after year, it's awesome because people become your friends just like any event you go to, and this is one of the best ones because it's fantastic. The kids go crazy. Kudos to Fort St. John for bringing it out and getting this thing going.
Now, this year, it's a whole different setup because it's the drive-through, and I think the people are very excited about it, for something to happen. So I think it would be really nice for the people to see this. And for us, it's also interesting because the people are moving along our sculptures, so you can use that in the way you design it. So I think it can be interesting.
We came here last year, first time. And we find it really, really amazing. They treat us very well. It's our passion to do our ice sculpture, so we like what we do, and we just do it as well as we can, and we're happy.
It's amazing, yeah. Everybody's so excited when we're in town, and you know, every store we go in, they're like, oh, you're the carvers. Okay, they can't wait to see the pieces. Because everybody comes in for the show. It's a big show. It's a great learning experience, a lot of fun, even if it's -46 with the wind.
It's kind of like the social event of the season. People see each other, and you know, we're all bundled up, but you know, it's an opportunity to stand and chat and enjoy the activities.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the award show tonight. And thanks to everyone who's being considered for the awards or receiving awards tonight, everyone who's here and serving in our community. It's what makes this place a good place to live, so thank you for all that you do. They were nice enough to ask me to come and play a few songs for you guys to start the show off tonight. I'm down at the Festival Plaza. It's a new building on 100th Street where the tourist info booth used to be. And yeah, it's really beautiful, nice open space. And I think it's safe to say I'm the first person to play music in here. So that's cool. Honored to be able to do that. And yeah, here we go. I thought I'd start. I'm just going to play a few John Prine songs for you to start off. For those of you who know him, he's considered one of the great songwriters of our time. We lost him to COVID last year in 2020, so I thought I'd play a few of his songs for you. This one's called How Lucky. Today I walked down the street I used to wander, hey, shook my head and I made myself a bet. There were all these things that I don't think I'll remember, hey, how lucky can one man get? I bronzed my shoes and I put them in the rearview mirror, hey, bronzed adoration in a blind spot of regret. There were all these things that I don't think I'll remember, hey, how lucky can one man get? Today I walked down the street I used to wander, hey, shook my head and I lit my cigarette. There were all these things that I don't think I'll remember, hey, how lucky can one man get? Hey, how lucky can one man get? Here's another one. I'll play another John Prine song for you here. This one's called Angel from Montgomery. If I heard right, he wrote this one about a old lady living in a retirement home. I am an old woman named after my mother. My old man, he's another child who's grown old. If dreams were lightning and thunder desire, this old house would have burnt down a long time ago. So make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. When I was a young girl, I had me a cowboy. Wasn't much to look at, just a cold rambling man. But that was a long time. No matter how I try, these years just blow by like a broken down. So make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. There's flies in the kitchen, I hear them a-buzzing, and I haven't done nothing since I woke up today. And how can a person go to work in the morning and come home in the evening and still have nothing to say? So make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a postcard of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. To believe in this living, well, it's just a hard way to go. Okay. So sticking with my tribute set tonight, I'm on a website that's like for fans of John Prine and to kind of remember him, and people post his music or memories from concerts and stuff on there. And there's a guy from the States named Dan Pelota. I don't think he's put out any albums yet, but he's a great songwriter, and he wrote a song about one of the quotes he heard. Prime was a mailman before he got discovered, and someone asked him if he ever read any of the mail or anything, and he said, if it ain't in an envelope, I read everything. And he took that line for his song and wrote this song about being a mailman. I really like it. I think he's going to release it in this summer sometime. Postcard from Aunt Josie, she's in Colorado Springs. If it ain't in an envelope, man, I read everything. Yellowstone was wonderful when we left Cheyenne that night. Love and see you soon, I'm running out of room to write. I'm a man of letters, the good times and the bad. I can see the future in my letter bag. No wind or sleet or rain or snow upon the ground can keep this lonesome courier from his appointed rounds. Notice of foreclosure, Monday afternoon. Mrs. Edwards' mailbox will be someone else's soon. Sometimes when it was hot, she'd bring me out a lemonade. What's the worst could happen if I wait till Saturday? I'm a man of letters, the good times and the bad. I can see the future in my letter bag. No wind or sleet or rain or snow up on the ground can keep this lonesome courier from his appointed rounds. I see them when they're little and I watch them grow. Tricycle comes flying up the drive to say hello. Tricycles to bicycles, and then before you know, college letters saying yes and others saying no. Birthdays and condolences and cards at Christmas time. Crooked cursive letters from another place in time. Then one day you notice no one writes her anymore. She slipped up to heaven through the mail slot in the door. I'm a man of letters, the good times and the bad. and I can see the future from my letter bag. No wind or sleet or rain or snow up on the ground can keep this lonesome courier from his appointed rounds. And she still gets the circulars from all her favorite stores, the mailers with the discounts for refinishing her floors, the mighty correspondence to a mother on and on, heartlessly remind them every day that she is gone. And wedding invitations always make me smile. You're cordially invited to tomorrow for a while. A groom and bride, a dream inside, pretty envelope. Empty mailbox waits for me to fill her up with hope. I'm a man of letters, the good times and the bad. I can see the future in my letter bag. No wind or sleet or rain or snow up on the ground can keep this lonesome courier from his appointed rounds. And I got one more for you. It's a new one I'm working on. It's called Out in the Cold. It was a cold, lonely night out in Nelson. It was starting to rain. This time I'd hurt you bad, and I hold the blame. And I should have known not to walk back down this road, 'cause they're messing with my mind, but the pills seem to ease the pain. If I could climb back up this mountain, I'd be yours and yours alone. But I'm lost down in the valley, far from all I've ever known. Better days I can remember, and memories cut me to the bone. And I burned all of the bridges, crossed those rivers to my home. I'm out in the cold, I'm out in the cold, I'm out in the cold. Now I'm roaming through the hills, but the scenes there are all the same. Fell to the ground in the darkness, calling your name. And we've been here before, but this time you met me with scorn. And I'm starting to believe I ain't ever gonna hold you again. If I could climb back up this mountain, I'd be yours and yours alone. But I'm lost down in the valley, far from all I've ever known. Better days I can remember, and memories cut me to the bone. And I burned down all the bridges, crossed those rivers to my home. I'm out in the cold, I'm out in the cold, I'm out in the cold. Good. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
thank you for joining us tonight, and I'd like to thank Adam Wynn for entertaining us with his music during our pre-show countdown. And Adam, thank you for your wonderful storytelling, which are even more cozy this winter. Most importantly, I'd like to introduce Elder Sam Ackerman. He's a songkeeper and a storyteller from the community of Doig River First Nation, and I'd also like to welcome Gary Oker, drummer and counselor for Doig River First Nation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're a great honor for us to come here to sing blessing songs for all the people that are getting the awards today. You know, community development is an important things that we do in our lives. Without community support and recognition, a lot of the people that do the work won't be recognized. So today we honor you with a prayer song to give you blessings so that you can continue doing your beautiful work that you do in our community.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a prayer song for Fort St. John community and then all around us, and then may God will be with you to pull through with this COVID-19, and we're praying for everyone around Fort St. John area, and then kids in school, doctors and nurses, our Fort St. John mayor and all her staff, and then our CMP and caretakers, all the schools. God will keep you safe, we believe.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And now, from two great guests to the next great one, I would like to invite Her Worship, Mayor Ackerman, to bring greetings on behalf of the city of Fort St. John. I'm just nervous because she's pretty much like the coolest auntie ever. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Mayor Ackerman.
Thank you, Ted. I want to begin by acknowledging that we live, work, and recreate on the traditional territory of the Denezau people, who have been stewards of this land since time immemorial. And I just really want to give a shout out and a appreciation to both Sam and Gary for their wonderful welcome and their drumming this evening. Well, I want to congratulate each and every one of you who have been nominated. As local champions in our community, together you create a remarkable community that we so dearly call home. There's value in volunteering and giving of yourself. It builds confidence, competence, connection, and community. Volunteering is often seen as a selfless act, a person who gives of their time, their skills, their experience, and their passion to others, without expecting anything in return. And while volunteering is a form of service, many volunteers will tell you that you get more than you give, from opportunities to develop new skills, to finding deep and meaningful personal connections. The magic of volunteering is that it creates social, and economic value for all of us. My only regret is that we can only choose one winner from each of the categories, but know that we appreciate everything that all of you have done. We are better off because you are part of our community. So Ted, over to you for a great show.
Thank you very much, Mayor Ackerman. An amazing speaker. All right. Next, I'd like to introduce and invite up two councillors who have co-chaired the awards gala committee this year. They're young, enthusiastic, and just a joy to watch. Here is Councillor Stewart and Councillor Zubinsky.
For the past 13 years, the City of Fort St. John has been hosting the Community Awards ceremony to recognize and honor those individuals and groups who so tirelessly work to make our city a vibrant place we all love. The Community Awards program presents a unique opportunity for us to celebrate the talents, dedication, and generosity of outstanding citizens, businesses, athletes, and volunteers who contribute to make our community a vibrant place to live. This year's gala recognizes contributions and nominees pre-COVID-19 pandemic.
3 of us make up this year's Community Awards Planning Committee. Myself, Councillor Zubinsky, and Karen Carlson, Director of Community Services. It is always exciting to read all the nominations and see how many community members make a difference every year. We rely upon community members to submit nominations that allow the city to recognize the contributions residents make to our community, and we host the Community Awards Gala to honor our extraordinary citizens.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I think Councillor Stewart and I are wearing the same suit. So, yes. My name is Ted Sloan. Thank you so much for having me as your MC. And I'd just like to give a special shout out. Speaking of looking good, thank you to my wife who's watching. It's the first year I can say thank you to my wife. So, Jaren, thank you for making me look the way I do, which is great. You make me look great. Anyways, let's continue with the show. I would like to thank you for coming together in this time of physical distancing to celebrate and recognize the volunteers' extraordinary contributions. At this time, I'd like to thank our Community Award Gala sponsors, Urban Systems and Northern Lights College. And now, I'd like to invite Edward Stanford from Urban Systems up to say a few words.
Thank you, Ted. On behalf of all of us at Urban Systems, I really think it's a privilege to be involved with these community awards yet again this year. In my mind, everybody who was nominated is a winner. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Edward. And thank you, Urban Systems, for your continued support of the Community Awards Gala. Now, I'd like to invite up Lauren Lovegreen, the VP of Academic and Research, Northern Lights College, up to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Lovegreen, and I'm the Vice President, Academic and Research of Northern Lights College. We're proud to be a major sponsor of the Fort St. John Community Awards. NLC is an integral part of Fort St. John, and we have a long history in the city. A huge thanks to the City of Fort St. John for their long-standing working relationship with us. When we work together, we accomplish so much for both our students and our citizens. I also want to acknowledge city staff for responding to any issues and concerns we may have. To Mayor and Council and the city's leadership team and staff, thank you for listening to us and for your hard work and support of the many improvements to our community. A huge congratulations to this year's nominees for Fort St. John Community Awards. You're the reason we're here right now. You make Fort St. John a better place, and we are all extremely fortunate that you called this city home. Finally, I extend a special congratulations to all winners, and thank you for inviting Northern Lights College to be part in your awards ceremony. We are proud of each and every one of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lauren Lovegreen and Northern Lights College, for your ongoing support of the Community Awards Gala. And I know that I used to be a student at Northern Lights College, and I think they're saying it. When I went, it said, "Start here, go far," and that is a wonderful representation. I'd also like to take this time to thank the rest of the sponsors for tonight. North Beach Savings and Credit Union, Shell Canada, Northern Geotesting and Engineering, and of course the people who help us spread all these words. Alaska Highway News, The Bear, Sun FM, Moose FM, and energeticcity.ca. All of this would not be possible without our generous sponsors. Speaking of helping get the word out, I'd also like to thank all those organizations that are live streaming our event tonight so that we can be seen. Thank you to the City of Fort St. John Facebook and YouTube pages. Thank you to the team at Energetic City, the crew at Bear Facebook, and everybody at Sun FM Facebook. And now's the exciting part, because now we can begin our awards. And it seems very proper that the first award tonight is our Youth Award.
Youth Award. The Youth Award recognizes an individual or youth group who has made a positive contribution to the community on a volunteer basis, such as developing a project, serving on a committee, or other volunteer work with organizations and groups. Youth in this category may display outstanding qualities, provide leadership, support their peers, overcome challenges, or contribute to Fort St. John in a meaningful way. There was one nominee for the 2021 award, Adrian and Kelsey Lee Buchert.
And now, to give away this award, I'd like to invite Councillor Stewart.
And the recipients are Adrian Buchert and Kelsey Lee Buchert. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Grinch tried to steal some of our Christmas spirit. We saw events canceled, but this brother and sister duo wanted to cheer everyone up for Christmas. Adrian and Kelsey decorated a couple of vehicles, and friends drove them around the city of Fort St. John for 10 nights. They covered every street in Fort St. John and the surrounding areas. They even did some drive-by birthdays and special requests. After the first night, they inspired others to decorate their vehicles and join in the processions. People were posting their locations on Facebook, and the residents waited and watched for them to drive by their street. By December 22nd, on the last night, they were joined by another 10 vehicles and a couple of horses. Adrian and Kelsey are a terrific example of youth who saw an issue and did something about it.
Awesome. And now we get to chat with Adrian and Kelsey Lee. And I'm lucky enough to be one of their teachers. There they are on the line. Hello, you two. How are you guys?
Good. How about you, Mr. Sloan?
It's because like I saw you like 6 hours ago. Congratulations on this award. How do you two feel?
Good. Very good.
I want to know who came up with the idea. Was it a joint effort or was it...
It was Dave Houghton, is a cousin, a friend, and he comes up with the idea. He whispered it in our ears and we're like, sounds like a good idea. So next thing we know, I wasn't able to go to school at the time because of COVID restrictions and I was having an asthma attack. So I was at home, so me and Dave would work on little bits and pieces throughout the day just to get her up and going, and then eventually we finished her as a team group, the three of us, me, my brother, and Dave.
Well, hearing how much work you guys, I know that I got to see a little bit of it, and I know that seeing you guys walk the hallways, I'm so excited to see how bright you make our hallways. So I'm so excited that the city got to see you guys too. Congratulations on this award. I think you should take the night off, any homework you should have, and you should just say that Mr. Sloan said you guys could take, tomorrow off.
Okay, thanks, Mr.
You're
Sloan.
welcome. All right, thank you too. We'll see you guys tomorrow in class, okay?
Yep.
They are wonderful students, and I had the chance to teach Adrian this year, and great kid. All right, moving on. Our next award is the Arts and Culture Award, and this one is sponsored by Shell Canada.
Arts and Culture Award. The Arts and Culture Award recognizes an individual, group, or organization for their community contribution, expressed through literacy, visual or performing arts, cultural diversity, or heritage education. Individuals may demonstrate excellence in an artistic field, have enriched experiences for the community, or encouraged residents to reach and expand their potential through arts and culture in Fort St. John. The 2021 nominees are Tom Cole, Rosemary Landry, Cassandra Mervin. The runner-ups are Tom Cole, When COVID-19 hit, Tom reacted by creating a weekly homebound concert, a series of performances by a variety of musicians from around Western Canada, delivered via Zoom. He included many local talents and worked with them in this new technological arena. Anyone who enjoys country music could access these concerts on Facebook or YouTube. Many people enjoyed these Sunday performances and kept coming back for more. Rosemary Landry. Rosemary is a long-standing, active member in our local arts community. Locally, she is the chair of the Fort St. John Arts Council, and regionally, she is the secretary-treasurer of the Peace River chapter of the Federation of Canadian Artists. As a member of the executive, she is a part of the planning of workshops that are offered through the organization, and supports the ongoing development of educational opportunities of artists throughout the region. Rosemary is also an active member of the North Peace Potters Guild and the Flying Colours Artists Association. Her contributions to the FSJ Arts Council have significantly benefited not only the many member organizations, but countless community members who enjoyed the activities of each of the member groups.
What a crew. Now, to award this, I'd like to invite up Jamie Grant, the production superintendent from Groundbirch, from Shell Canada, to present this award.
And the recipient is Cassandra Mervin. Miss Mervin is not only a fantastic teacher in person every year, but during COVID-19, she went above and beyond. When the schools closed and online teaching became the new norm, teachers were working even harder to learn new protocols, manage new technology, and become creative with limited resources. She invested her own money to purchase more equipment to improve her tutorial videos and created her YouTube channel, Miss Mervin, which has over 20 tutorial videos designed for her students. In addition to her schoolwork, Miss Mervin's Art House offers fun and engaging activities for children to learn, create, and play, and she adapted the crafts to be done at home for the pandemic. Miss Mervin's Art House also does contests and fundraisings and donates money to seniors, the Fort St. John Women's Resource Society, and the Transitional Housing Center. She is very passionate about teaching, loves doing art and letting kids express themselves through art, creativity, and kindness. Her students really love her because she is so warm and approachable, and she always offers so much more for her students.
This is going to be very difficult not for me to say congratulations, Miss Mervin, because I always know you as Miss Mervin. Cassandra, you won. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you. I'm completely humbled. Hear that back was a true honor. Thank you so much.
Well, look at how much you've, like, this is incredible. I know as a teacher, like going into the pandemic, I was like, oh, what am I going to do? How did you find all of the energy to do that? What made you want to go, okay, I gotta do this? What was that story like?
You know, honestly, like hearing that back, when I think about pandemic teaching, I didn't feel like I did that, to be honest. Like, and I know that we all did as teachers, but we were all feeling like we needed to do more because we were in such uncertain territory. And I had kids of my son is 9, so he was going through the same thing. And we just, you know what, honestly, connecting with other teachers and seeing what they were doing and then adapting to myself. And, you know, the YouTube channel just kind of grew from that because I couldn't hold classes, and it kind of got me started on trying to do YouTube so that I could still connect with everybody. So, yeah.
I can only imagine, it's a lot of hard work to do all that, but I can only imagine that you saw lots of joy from your students, and the exchanges must have been great. What I'm saying is the hard work was there, but I hope you saw how much your students loved it throughout the pandemic.
I really appreciate that. I know that my main focus when I was connecting with the kids was connection. I knew that it was going to be really hard for kindergarten to do the amount of learning that we do in class. That wasn't going to happen at home, and that was a big stress for families to have that pressure on their shoulders. So I met with my class every single day, and it was mostly just because I felt like the connection was important, to keep in touch, to touch base every day, and then still have activities for them to do, but the pressure not to be on the schoolwork, but to be on connecting with each other.
Well, I know when I tell people I teach teenagers, they go, oh, and I go, oh, no. If you really want to meet a superhero, you meet the kindergarten teachers. So thank you very, very much, Cassandra, for all the work that you've done, and congratulations with this award.
Thank you so much.
We're going to move on now to our next award. It's the Humanitarian Award, and this is sponsored by the North Peace Savings and Credit Union.
Humanitarian Award. The Humanitarian Award recognizes a volunteer or a group of volunteers whose actions, commitment, volunteer leadership, service, and community spirit have made a difference in the lives of those in the community. It recognizes leadership in promoting awareness of accessibility in the community, outstanding contributions towards advancing sustainability initiatives, or a genuine commitment to providing a better future for Fort St. John residents. The 2021 nominees: Audie Licious, John Goslin, Maxine Meese, Marion and the custodian staff at Ann Roberts Young Elementary, Northern Sun Helpers Society, Mary Parkin, Carrie Lessing, Jojo Garreau, Christopher Harriet, Rita Schoenwilly, Talitha Nielsen, Ruth Ann Darnell, Fort St. John Women's Resource Society, Eric Tobler. The runner-ups are Fort St. John Women's Resource Society. The Fort St. John Women's Resource Society strives to empower women and girls and people of low income with tools to improve the quality of their lives. Amanda and her team at the Fort St. John Women's Resource Center work passionately and are there to provide service to people in the community. Some of the programs offered are the Drop-In Center, Sky's Place, Outreach Store, The Healing Place, and Poverty and Family Law Advocacy. Amanda and the staff are tireless, compassionate workers and are always raising awareness and funds to support their programs and the vulnerable people they serve. Maxine Meese. Maxine has been working in the Aboriginal Homeless Outreach Program for almost 20 years. She has introduced cost-saving measures for the operation and supported multiple community committees and activities that prevented homelessness, provided BC Housing and other researchers with valuable inputs. She truly believes in affordable housing for all, introduced the Rent It Right protocol to local landlords, which assisted people with multiple barriers finding housing. She assisted many other programs, such as free tax filings and returns, free soup and bannock, as well as free giveaways of household items and multiple hampers. She ran fundraisers such as the Coldest Night of the Year, which is a family-friendly national walkathon that raises funds for charities that serve hungry, homeless, and hurting people in our town and other communities across Canada. She is never tired.
What an amazing pool of people to have to choose from. So now I'd like to invite up Lorena Steeves to present the award.
And the recipient is the Northern Sun Helpers. The Northern Sun Helpers Society is a peer group focused on harm reduction, addressing the opioid crisis in our community. They support people by providing access to naloxone kits, lunches, and helping people in need of basic necessities such as showers, a safe place to stay, and other needed items. They advocate for those with addictions and offer support to them and their families. They recruit volunteers and are a member of the Fort St. John Community Action Team. The Northern Sun Helpers Society appreciate everyone that is helping with harm reduction in the community and thankful for any other peer groups that are in the Fort St. John area and beyond.
I like in how that it said, they appreciate us, but Pam, I get to say how much we appreciate you right now in all of the work that the Northern Sun Helpers do. How does it feel to win this award?
I'm honored, I'm overwhelmed, but my being here has been supported by a whole lot of people. My mom and dad, Charlene Burmeister, Amanda Trotter, who helped bring our group together to start, and our community action team, who have given us the faith and guidance that we need to carry on. Thank you all.
Well, thank you, because I know this has been a tough year, a huge tough year, and you guys, I've seen you out, I've seen some of the things you've done, and I don't know where you find the strength to do it, because truly, you save lives, you help our community be a better place. thank you so much for putting the time, effort, and putting others before you to make sure that everyone is a person. So thank you, Pam. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Congratulations, the Northern Sun Helpers. Now, we're going to move on to Councillor Zubinsky. He's going to introduce the next part of our show, and that is tonight's speaker panel. Councillor Zubinsky.
We'd like to welcome our 2021 Community Awards speaker panel, who have all been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Tracy Paquette with Northern Health. Daryl Key, Paramedic Chief at BC Ambulance. Jared Braun, Executive Director of the Salvation Army, Fort St. John. And Ted Sloan, a teacher with School District 60.
Hello, and welcome to the panel portion of our evening tonight. Tonight I have three wonderful guests, and I've got to spend a little bit of time getting to know them, and now you're going to get to know a little bit of their stories. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, as they're going to do a better job than I could. So we'll start with the gentleman to my right. Hello, how are you, and who are you?
Thanks, Ted. My name is Jared Braun, and I'm the Executive Director for the Salvation Army in Fort St. John.
Fantastic. And the man in blue next to you with the lovely shoes. How are you today, and who are you today?
Good. Thanks a lot, Ted. My name's Daryl Key. I'm the Paramedic Chief with BC Ambulance here in Fort St. John.
And our last guest sitting across from me. Hello, how are you, and who are you?
I'm good. My name is Tracy Paquette. I'm a Blueberry River First Nation, and I also work for Peace Villa.
This evening, we're going to talk to each three about their experiences through COVID. And we're going to start with Jared. So, Jared, you're with the Salvation Army. You've been there a bit. Let's talk about COVID. What were some of the changes that you had to deal with? It was not life like normal. What was it like for you?
Yeah, the Salvation Army is the front door for many people in the most vulnerable places in our community. And when COVID came, obviously, that drastically impacted the services that we could provide for them. We serve a lot of people through our food bank, and part of the service that we do is very relational. And so unfortunately, when COVID came, we had to move to a hamper system where we were just handing out hampers instead of being able to invite them in, have a conversation, have coffee. And the same thing happened at our shelter, where we had to shut down our community drop-in center, which is really a gathering point for a lot of the people in the community who are just looking for a place to have conversation and get a warm meal. And so we were able to continue to still offer those meals and offer beds, but only for those that were registered guests in our shelter. And so it just made some of the connection, the relational piece, a lot more different. Of course, we're very much empowered by volunteers alongside of our employees. And so with COVID, we had to ask our volunteers to not come anymore. And so that put a lot greater strain on our employees. And of course, many people are familiar with our thrift store. And with COVID, we had to shut our thrift store down. And the thrift store contributes a lot of revenue to the food bank. And so that was a big challenge to have to lose that income for the vital service we provide.
It's something that in our conversations, both on camera and off camera, that has really struck me. It must have been very difficult, but just the humanity that you kept through it. I mean, there's layers of protective gear. There's layers of we can't do this, we can't do this. So to see the Salvation Army go, oh, these are people, and we're going to help people. That has been amazing to see. So thank you for that. How has the community? You said a lot of relying on volunteers and things like that. Has the community been able to rally around? What was it like, community and Salvation Army, that relationship moving forward?
Yeah, that has been phenomenal to see. Obviously a lot of things changed. So though we couldn't get the volunteer hours, one of the big things that we depend on is food drives for people to collect food that contributes to our food bank. A lot of that had to go away. I mean, people were trying to maintain and collect their own food as well. It made things interesting when everybody started running out of toilet paper. Then our supply obviously started going down as well. But one of the things that was incredibly beautiful to see was the generosity of the community financially. And so where we weren't receiving as much in practical food hampers and food drive donations, we had people giving financially so that we could go out and buy the food that we needed to buy the supplies that we needed to. Many people are familiar with our Kettle Campaign that runs at Christmas time. And this last year, they had set a goal, I think, for $75,000 that we were aiming for. And we more than doubled that by the end. And so it was a real huge expression of the community standing behind what we do as the Salvation Army. And so, you know, it allowed us just to carry on in a very strong way.
It sounds like your heart both swelled and broke and swelled and broke like a million times this past year.
Yeah, I mean, our slogan is giving hope today. And so it's a daily work that we do. And the opportunity to be able to, in the most simple ways, you know, help people know that there's a community that's standing behind them, and make sure that they have food for their families, they can save on their grocery budgets so they can take care of their families, that they have a bed to stay in. And, you know, those things never change. No matter what the conditions are that are going on in the world, we get to be a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Speaking of hearts, another great heart sitting to my left is Daryl. Sorry, Daryl, I forgot your name for a second. I apologize, even though we were talking about how we've crossed paths a few times. Daryl, you're the paramedic chief here in Fort St. John. What were some of the changes that came to how you responded to calls when COVID came down?
Well, paramedics actually prior to the pandemic were highly trained in infectious illnesses and in the use of personal protective equipment. So that was one great place where we were sort of a little bit of, say, to use the term, head of the curve. But it changed our practice. We were starting to have uses on a daily basis. And you come up with challenges like something as simple as communicating with the patient. Like once you have to put a respirator on, it's hard for them to understand. Communicating on radios, communicating on phones. That was some of the challenges we had to overcome, like say just simple communications. Then the screening tools came in, so you had another level of questions that you had to ask. So our paramedic dispatchers, our call takers, and then the paramedics on the streets, we had to go through screening tools just to make sure that we were at this proper level of protective equipment.
Well, and not only did it come down, I remember standing on the Cultural Center stage and listening to the NHL getting ended, the MLB and things, and that was a big change. And then 2 months later, there was another big change as things. So there were continually changes for you. How has that been trying to keep ahead of that curve?
Communication within BC Ambulance organizations has actually been stellar, in my opinion. They communicate the changes to us. They're getting us the tools that we need, the equipment that we need, that we're delivering high quality care to our patients here in Fort St. John and across the province. Because as you know, sometimes the patients just don't stay here. They get moved off to other centers depending on what level of care they need. So yeah, the changes have just been, I won't say overwhelming, but at times they are a challenge to keep up on everything.
How do you find, I know that my wife and I went out to the balcony at 7 p.m. with our pots and pans and we hit them as hard as we can. How's the community response been?
Oh, I think it's just been fabulous, the response to for the first responders here in this community, and what the community's been doing, what they've been saying. Like you talk about the pots and pans, but down to you drive around, remember all the hearts on the windows, and even today there's still lots of houses that still have the hearts on the windows. We'd have people come up to the street and thank us for what we're doing. I remember some nights they were actually get knock on the door and here was somebody standing back. They just put some food at the door for us and thanking us for our service. It's been overwhelming. It's great to know how appreciative the community is for the first responder community, not just in Fort St. John, but I imagine it's probably the same all across the province and into other provinces across Canada.
Well, like you saying, the changes haven't been overwhelming, but there's been changes that you're combating, and it's one of the most wonderful things about Fort St. John, and in many communities, but Fort St. John, sometimes we're able to see that and go, oh, okay, we need to support people like you who are there, and so it's nice to hear that, and for both of you, that there has been community support. So, excellent. Speaking of community, we have another member of our community, Tracy. Your story is incredible. I know that the Alaska Highway News, wrote about you earlier. Let's just talk a bit about, because you are a COVID-19 survivor. So in the beginning, when you didn't feel well, How was that? Did you immediately suspect it was COVID? Did you go, oh, it's just a cold? How did it feel?
I thought it was a cold at first, and I was going to go to work at one point, and I said, no, there's something wrong. I better turn around. So I turned around, and I got my husband the first time to take me in, and they said it was a kidney stone. So, but then they sent me back, and what had happened is I waited a couple of days, and then I went back in. It was this time my brother and sister-in-law that took me in. And then that's when Dr. Brandt said it was COVID. So, and I was praying in there. I said, please don't let it be COVID. And I had to phone my sister-in-law because they were outside. And I'm like, can you tell family I have COVID?
This was, you were one of the first major cases in the North. I remember reading about you. That must have felt, it must have felt like you got hit with a blast of cold water to say, hey.
Yes, it did. My body was so hurt where I couldn't, when I wanted to move, my body was so like in pain. My chest was in pain. I was in pain all over, you know, and I don't wish this upon anybody. Like, you know, people need to take it serious. This COVID thing is not a joke. It's not. You know, wear your masks, wash your hands, hand sanitize. I said, it's not a joke.
Well, I was going to say, to help people understand even more your story, you were diagnosed with COVID-19 and you ended up in Prince George. What's that story? If you don't mind, and you
sure.
Yeah, so you get the call, you're diagnosed.
I went there. I had to tell my brother, I'm diagnosed with COVID, and I'm like, you better phone mom, you better phone the family, let family know. Like, I have a big family at home, and I said, please let them know, you know, that I have COVID, and they're gonna ship me out tomorrow morning. And that was a shock to everybody, because all I remember is like when I was so tired, I told the doctors I want to sleep now. And then next thing you know, I woke up on my birthday, which was yesterday, sorry, on April 22nd. I'm like, okay. The nurse is like, you know where you're at? I said, yeah, I'm in Prince George. I come on the 6th. Like, I thought it was the 6th. I thought the day I woke up was the 7th. She's like, no, today's the 22nd. I'm like, oh, what? My birthday? But that was a shock, because I was so scared. I was alone. I have no family there. Nobody can come see me. And it's terrifying, you know? But I was also in shock. I tell you, though, the doctors and the nurses and people, paramedics, they are so awesome people. They do phenomenal jobs, and I thank them today. And also the Lord above, because you know what? I wouldn't have been here today to tell my story. And I really thank a lot of people.
No. You don't have to apologize at all. This is a really important. When I had read that you'd been in a coma for 3 weeks, and then I read about how many people had gathered online to pray for you every day, and just A, the amount of medical work, B, the amount of community support, and what you must have been feeling. I mean, physically, you were hurting, and then to hurt physically, but also to hurt mentally, to knowing that your family is at home, knowing that you're alone, knowing that your family's worried about you. You must have been feeling every emotion.
I was. It put me so much into fear for my mom, because I was around her. She's one of the elders. Her name is Virginia. She's an elder from Blueberry. And I was so afraid for her, because I was beside her when I had this. Who knows if she could have made it, if she could have died or what. By the grace of God, a lot of prayers, a lot of people, over 1,000 people were praying for me, especially my family. And I thank them so much. I really do. And especially the community in Fort St. John. I know a lot of people here in Fort St. John through hockey and all that, like school. And I know that they have prayed for me, and I thank them so much.
Well, Bert,
it's been very humbling to read your story, to hear your story too, because you've experienced the worst, and we get to listen and go, hey, you know what, this isn't a joke. You were in a coma for 3 weeks. You had to relearn a number of things. I loved hearing the wheelchair part of your story, where
yes.
because you had to relearn to walk.
I had to relearn how to walk because my body was so, like I was in a coma and I never walked for how long, and my muscles, I lost all my muscle mass. They brought that wheelchair. They're like, you're gonna be in this. I'm like, no, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not, because the day I woke up, that's the same time they brought the wheelchair in, and I'm like, I'm not sitting in you. I said, I'm not gonna be one of those people that give up on my life and just sit in you and get stuck in a wheelchair. I said, nope. And they wanted me to sit in there. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk out those doors. I'm gonna walk out of here. I said, I don't care, I'm gonna walk. I said, no, every day I would tell that wheelchair, I'm not sitting in you. No, that's not for me.
Was there things that you found comfort in, that you went, you know, this is hurting and I'm hurting. This is a light, this is a joy. Were there things that you turned to for that?
My family. My family has been the most support ever for me. And my children, my kids too, they were at home helping me. My daughter, Shania, was so phenomenal when I got home. She stayed home, she didn't leave my side. She'd help me get up and walk to the bathroom, and I was only using that thing maybe 1 week, and she would help me, hold me and just walk me to the bathroom, and she'd support.
That's something, like, when I'm not getting to host the community awards, I get to teach. And I don't know, and gentlemen, feel free to pipe in as well. One of the questions they asked me is, how has COVID affected kids? And my kids are a lot more grumpy than they used to be. But the thing that I'm amazed at with kids, and I'm just a teacher, I'm not a parent, so parents feel free to weigh in on this, is I've just been amazed at the resilience of kids. One of the most interesting things is we started the school year and said, hey, by the way, you are now in this cohort. Can't leave that cohort, you're stuck with this. And the kids went, oh, okay. And then we changed the mandate again on them about 4 months later. And the kids went, oh, okay. And then a couple of weeks ago, we changed it on them again. And I felt bad as a teacher going, hey, this is tough on me, but I have a bigger picture than you. So to watch my kids go, oh, okay. Like, I am constantly amazed by how kids have handled this. And I'm in awe of that as a teacher. It's been simply wonderful to see. So yeah, so to hear about your children being amazing and your family being amazing, and kids are great is what I'm trying to say.
They are. Mine are just so, like, they just supported me through everything. They were so happy I come home. You should have seen when I woke up, I FaceTimed like 24 people. And my kids were just, my daughter was so happy. She's like jumping up and down, and I was so groggy. My head's going up and down with her. So, and all my two boys, they were just crying and they were happy, like, you know, happy. And my husband was happy too.
One of the questions that was posed to me as a teacher was, what has been a positive takeaway? And when you said community, that's kind of been, like, my community has shrunk. I'm a very social person. Usually I'm out volunteering all the time. And so that was one of the negative things, was I don't get to see my community. But the positive takeaway has been, I've now had to be more focused on my communities. Whereas I would go into a crowd and see, 100 people, now I am getting to maybe FaceTime or Zoom with someone. So that if I could take, there's not much, well, no, that's not true. I would take a few things away from 2020. I got married, which was a positive. But I think for me, a takeaway would be how valuable it is to foster those relationships and go, you know what, this is such a good thing. So that is, yeah, this question, what has been a positive takeaway as a teacher? I've gotten to know my kids better. I've gotten to know my people in my life better. And I won't ever, hopefully, take that for granted. So I think that has been a positive takeaway. I'm going to open the floor. Does anyone, again, this is what they teach you in teaching, don't ever put anyone on the spot, and I put all three of you on the spot. Does anyone want to add to that?
I think one of the big things that I've just seen throughout this whole experience that I think has been a positive thing is how it's forced creativity in people, where people were in a situation where you've never been before, and how do you come up with solutions that have never been done? And I think, as point of reference to the Salvation Army, I know when it came to the kettle season during the Christmas time, we're well known around the world for the red kettles with a volunteer standing beside and ringing the bells. And for much of that experience wasn't really going to be able to happen because of social distancing and because of limitations in stores. And it had the potential to have a huge damaging effect to a substantial fundraiser and a community impact opportunity. But what they did is just communicated with the stores and said, we still would like to get our kettles there, and we still would like to be able to have the community contribute and be a part of our work. And so figuring out a way that they could be left independently and be locked up and have stores managers agree to have staff members keep an eye on the kettles on our behalf, working together with a software company to come up with a tap feature that you could use the tap on your debit card to make a donation. And it, like I mentioned before, the result was incredible. Then you have a neighbor like the Gallaghers who have that amazing Christmas feature. Most people in Fort St. John have got a chance to drive through and see their Christmas lights. And they rigged up a way to have a kettle extended so that you could just drive by and make a donation without having to have any personal interaction and still experience the beauty of the Christmas decorations and contribute to meaningful work. And so, the creativity, I think, has been something that I've seen as a real positive thing in so many different areas, and that's just an example.
I agree. That's I know in teaching we've had to get very creative, and it was actually kind of like during that virtual part of teaching, it was so bizarre. I usually teach 20 to 30 to 40 kids at once, and you're in front of all those. But being able to speak with one kid one-on-one in Zoom is fantastic. I don't know if I'd like it all the time. My colleagues in Ontario, that's all they do, and they tell you no. But there's been opportunity for me to reach out and get to know students better, which is great. So I have this list of questions. We've checked them all and more. You guys have been absolutely wonderful as a panel. Before we go, is there anything that we're missing? I mean, I know that there's lots, and that people will see us in the street and they'll be able to say, hey, Jared, I have a question about this, and they'll be able to ask you on the street as well, and Tracy, they'll see this. Before we go, though, is there anything that I think the main takeaway from today is Fort St. John's great, and our community has really stepped up, and that makes us probably, if not the best place to live, but one of the best places.
Yeah, I'd just like to take a chance to thank the community. The people of Fort St. John are just fabulous in the support that they've been giving everybody around, first responders, the nurses, support like for people like Tracy, support for the Salvation Army. I'm really proud to be living in this city.
I think that's the best way to end that. That is fantastic. So, and that's our panel. With my three wonderful guests, if you do see them, they're great. So make sure to say hello to them, and make sure to keep watching as we still have some things to do tonight. So from here to you, we'll see you in a bit.
And I get to see you. It's very weird to see me on screen. There we go. Thank you to that wonderful panel. And we had a great conversation about many, many things. Something that we did get to talk about that I didn't quite get to see, but I wanted to say, not only do we have a wonderful community of adults, of people who've really stepped up to the plate, I'd also like to thank, if any youth are watching at the moment, it's been amazing to watch you go through this pandemic. I know that as your teacher, I go, can you? And just to see you show up every day smiling lifts my spirits. So thank you so much to all the youth, all the children, all the teens. We're going to hand the world over to you, and I know it's going to be in good hands. So thank you. Next up, speaking of good hands, I'd like to invite up Councillor Zubinsky. He's going to hand off the next award.
Recreation and Sport Award. The Recreation Award recognizes an individual or group for their volunteer efforts in the promotion, organization, support, or motivation of sports, recreation, and leisure pursuits, including healthy and active living. Individuals may demonstrate excellence in an athletic discipline, have increased sport and recreational opportunities within the community, or encouraged residents to reach and expand their potential through recreation and wellness in Fort St. John. The 2021 nominees: Phil Hiscock, The Sweatbox, Chantelle Yates. The runner-ups are Phil Hiscock. Phil immersed himself in our community with the vision of creating a better future for his students and athletes. Phil helps athletes with strength and conditioning for a variety of sports, and is involved on the ice with our local hockey players. He dedicates himself to this cause while also being fully invested as an educator for School District 60 at the Energetic Learning Campus, and fulfilling his role as husband and father to his wife and 3 children. The Sweatbox. Nikki and Bailey have created a very welcoming environment for people of all fitness levels. They don't run a gym. They run a safe place for you to help reach your goals through regular exercise and outdoor adventures. They're friendly, encouraging, and excited for all their clients to reach new levels. It's impossible not to feel welcome in their presence. Nikki and Bailey have been involved with the health and fitness community in Fort St. John for many years. And in 2020, they opened a small private gym to give people a comfortable place to stay active and healthy year-round.
The joys of live TV. I'm sorry, now we'd like to invite up Councillor Zubinsky to present the award.
And the recipient is Chantelle Yates. Having a safe place for children and youth to play has been imperative over the past year and throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Chantelle has worked hard to keep the doors of the North Peace Gymnastic Association open. She has ensured everyone's safety by following public health orders, supporting staff emotionally, and welcoming as many young people as possible, offering physical and mental health opportunities to families. During all this, she has continued with her programming for individuals ranging from babies, toddlers, children, youth, special needs, adults, and seniors. She has been responsible for keeping gymnastics at the forefront of our community by engaging in community events and volunteering her time to head the event for North Peace Gymnastic Association. Chantelle shows up with a bright and cheery attitude, no matter what roadblocks there were behind the scenes.
And I'm lucky enough to have Chantelle on the line right now. And Chantelle, after hearing all of that back, how does it feel to win this award?
I am shocked. I am absolutely, I don't even have words. I honestly, being up against everybody and what everyone has gone through this year, I'm honored, and it doesn't feel like I've done that much.
I was going to say, I'm going to just jump in because I know I have a few parents whose children go to your gym, and you were able to give those parents even just a little bit of time to breathe and things like that. So thank you on behalf of that. What's it been like this last year for you? You've definitely stepped up to the plate and more. How's it been?
We've actually had so much fun this year. Things have been really different. It meant really thinking outside of the box to try to figure out how to get everybody back in the club, get everybody active, get everybody moving. We've managed to get as many children back in the facility as we can, even though our ratios and our capacities are so low, and that we've been able to bring anyone. So we've really worked hard to bring our activity to every child who wants it in our community. And the coaches have been amazing. I mean, I can't thank them enough for not giving up and being right there with me when I change plans constantly. It's been fantastic. We're just happy to see the kids, and we're happy to see them smiling and laughing, and bringing a little bit of that, bringing that back to them.
Well, thank you, because you said it, being able to change. Okay, we have plan A. Okay, now we have plan B. Now we have plan Z. It could not have been easy to do that, and to say, okay, we have to get all these people in. So thank you very much. Will you get a chance to relax at all, or is it just keep going until you can't?
We're going to keep going until we can't.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chantelle, and congratulations on the award.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up, we're going to go to our Business Award.
Business Award. The Business Award recognizes the distinguishing contributions of an individual, business, or nonprofit organization toward areas including, and not limited to, social innovation, mentorship, or investing in the community of Fort St. John. The 2021 nominees are Best Performance Sports Training, Alaska Avenue Dental Clinic, Vector Geomatics Land Surveying Limited, Northwest Hearing Services Limited, Fort Motors Limited, Wings of Care, Home Care Solutions, Fort St. John Public Library Association. Runner-ups are Wings of Care, Home Solutions. Wings of Care, Home Solutions has provided a much-needed service to the residents in the Fort St. John area, especially seniors. The founder of the Wings of Care has given peace of mind to many families as she has provided hands-on personal care to their aging loved ones. Each of her clients are treated with tenderness and compassion. Wings of Care helps aging individuals live a quality life to the fullest while remaining in their own homes. They provide a wide range of affordable home health solutions and other services without sacrificing quality. Wings of Care puts the care back into home care as they gently wrap their loving arms around Fort St. John residents in their season of need. The founder of Wings of Care has inspired others to join her quest to provide a much-needed service to the peace and has employed a number of other home care workers in the past year, even in the slow economic times due to COVID-19. Wings of Care is a young company paving the way for others who are interested in caring for others. Fort St. John Public Library Association. When the pandemic hit and the library had to close its doors, the resourceful staff did not slow their quest to be of service to the community. They assisted people with accessing digital reading options and by sharing online resources through the website. The FSJ-PLA continued to engage patrons through social media with entertaining and informative posts. Community members who found themselves quarantined in their homes could participate in various activities like Throwdown Thursdays, a weekly photo challenge for people to win free books sponsored by the Literacy Society. Window displays were made showcasing various collections and raising awareness for social issues. Entertaining videos were posted with different staff and community members reading books aloud. As soon as it was safe to do so, the library began restoring services to the community, starting with library takeout, whereby patrons could order books and resources online or on the phone, and the staff would provide curbside pickup for those items. Over several weeks, the library continued to increase the levels of service provided while working tirelessly to maintain the safety of both the public and the staff. The Fort St. John Public Library Association is a stellar example of resilience and community service in the difficult year experienced by all in 2020.
Now, to present this award, I'd like to invite up Councillor Zubinsky.
And the recipient is Best Performance Sports. When COVID-19 first hit, Fort St. John and the city sports facilities were forced to close down. Phil Hiscock took Best Performance Sports immediately online. Best Performance Sports provided a free online program which offered strength and conditioning exercises for athletes, their family members, and the public who wanted to sign up. At the end of August, when the city had no ice, Phil took his annual hockey camp and staff to Tumbler Ridge so the athletes could have an opportunity to keep up with their training. Once the city of Fort St. John had ice in, Best Performance Sports facilitated the majority of the ice times, working with players from 5 to 18 years of age, 7 days a week. He did this every day after school and on weekends, giving athletes the need of guidance and training the opportunity to keep going forward.
And congratulations to Phil, who's on the line. Phil, what's it like to be the recipient of this award tonight? And a special guest.
Yeah, you know, he's supposed to be in bed, but he decided to stay up a little later tonight. So yeah, it's pretty awesome feeling. I mean, I just love this community and we love what we do, so it makes it pretty easy.
Well, I'm hearing, as soon as things went sideways, you were like, Kate, we're going online, we're doing this. Was there even a moment of hesitation, or do you just go, no, of course, we're going to change gears, but we're going to keep going? Was there ever a question of being like, maybe we should take a break, or was it just, nope, we're going to do this, we're going to figure out a way?
Yeah, I have a hard time sitting still. So there was no question that we were gonna do everything we could to support our athletes. We've got kids all the way from this guy's age up to some 30-year-old pros playing overseas. So we needed to make sure that all of them were supported as much as possible. And it was really neat to see everybody kind of come together as a community and support each other online when we had to like that. So yeah, it was really cool.
Well, I know growing up in Fort St. John, I mean, sports is kind of one of the backbones of our city. So it's nice to know that you are there supporting that background, or that backbone. So thank you very much, Mr. Hiscock. It's so strange to call you Phil after you were my teacher for years, but thank you so much, and I'll let you guys head to bed.
John, thank you.
What a great community we have. This is fantastic. Speaking of great, this next award was a really difficult category for our judges because the two nominees together, they have over 80 years of combined dedication to this community to help make it great. See, our next award is the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Lifetime Achievement Award. The Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes an individual's remarkable contributions and dedication to the community. Their contributions have improved the quality of life for citizens or brought positive recognition to Fort St. John. 2021 nominees: Dr. W.H. Brousseau, Susan Elizabeth Popescu. The runner-up is Dr. W.H. Brousseau. Dr. W.H. Brousseau has provided physician care for over 40 years, and 18 of those have been in Fort St. John for many community members at the local clinics and hospital. He worked emergency shifts up until age 55, and to this day, he is still delivering babies. He is currently a family physician specializing in obstetrics, and when he retires, he will need to be replaced by 2 physicians as he has around 3,000 patients. His commitment to the community and excellent compassionate care is irreplaceable.
Now, to present the Lifetime Award, I'd like to welcome Councillor Stewart.
And the recipient is Susan Elizabeth Popescu. Everyone knew her as Sue, and she was a very special person to all of us. For more than 40 years, Sue worked tirelessly for the betterment of our community with a particular focus upon the arts. She was a leading member of the Fort St. John Arts Council and was closely involved in theater, tourism, and was the executive director of our Fort St. John Hospital Foundation. She was also a founding member of the Peace River North Festival Association. She was one of the main drivers behind the building of the Cultural Center to bring a professional, quality theater to Fort St. John. And she took the reins again to lead the fundraising to refurbish and upgrade the theater in 2019. Sue helped to set up the temporary museum and Alaska Highway Museum for the 40th anniversary of the highway in 1982, and was instrumental in establishing the Fort St. John North Peace Museum. She was a founding organizer for the High and Ice Winter Festival, Sand Sensations, and the Art Post, as well as many other projects and programs over the years. At the time of her death, Sue was still active in the Arts Council, the North Peace Cultural Society, Stage North, and the Peace Liard Regional Arts Council. And she was working on projects that would help grow and improve the arts and the general quality of life here in Fort St. John. Everyone in this community has benefited from Sue's contribution. Anyone who has set foot in the Cultural Center, or enjoyed the High and Ice, or a performance by Stage North, or appreciated the painted flower pots and the banners enhancing the streets of the city, has benefited from Sue's efforts to make our city a better place to live. She not only set an example of public service through her leadership on many of these projects and programs, she was also a mentor and support to anyone who is trying to launch or grow a project of their own. She was willing to share her vast experience and to advise and to encourage others, especially in the arts community. She did everything with an energy, enthusiasm, and optimism that was inspiring, although hard to match. No matter what setbacks she may have had over the years, she never gave up on the people of this community and never stopped working for them. She set the highest possible standard for community service, and none of her volunteer efforts were ever for her own personal benefit. It will take the efforts of many to replace what Sue has brought to our community.
Wow, sorry. This is going to be a tough one. I am lucky enough to have Jason on the line. Jason, I worked with Sue a little bit. I just wanted to say thank you, Jason. Your mom was amazing, and I know that this city would not be the same if she wasn't here. So thank you very much. And I'm gonna throw it over to you because I think I'm gonna break down here.
Well, you know, I'm not having any I'm not having an easier time over here. Yeah, thank you for this. I know my father thanks you as well. He's not so good with Zoom, so he's watching this on YouTube. But I'm sure he's probably looks like me right now. Yeah, thank you to the community. Mom loved Fort St. John. She loved the arts, and just growing up, she was always doing something. Some of which was done in that nice tribute. Was talked about in that tribute with, you know, building the cultural center, and I remember taking rolls of pennies and laying them on the stage and covering the stage with pennies as part of a fundraising effort for the cultural center and getting it built. And I remember her with the hospital foundation and Bluey Days and shaving her head, and you know, now, you know, I, not because of that, but she, you know, yeah, mom was mom. She was special to me, and I'm glad she was special to Fort St. John because she loved the community.
I think wherever you look in this city, you see echoes of your mom. I don't have a glass. I don't think I'm allowed to have a glass of wine as the MC, but from us to you and to Sue, wherever you are, Sue, thank you so much. And I can only imagine what you're feeling, man. And if I ever get to meet you in person, I owe you 1,000,000 beers on behalf of your mom. So thank you so much for calling tonight. Oh. Now, we're going to move on to our final award. The final award this evening is the Mayor's Citizen of the Year Award. And at this time,
Mayor's Citizen of the Year. The Mayor's Citizen of the Year Award recognizes an individual that has achieved positive notoriety outside our community for their actions, is known as a leader or role model by their peers, or has won international, national, or provincial titles or awards for their efforts. The recipient acts as an ambassador for our community and has recognized Fort St. John as their home and community where they built and honed their skills and abilities. 2021 nominees: COVID-19 Seniors Task Force Team, Patrick Patterson, Bessie Legault. The runner-ups: Patrick Patterson. Patrick is all heart, and he gives a lot back to the community. Over the years, he has worked hard at several business startups in the restaurant industry in Fort St. John and is always promoting local restaurants. He always lends a hand when needed and often helps local restaurants with their fundraisers or promotions. The positivity he spreads is inspirational, and he shares his passion for food and community with all the people he comes into contact with. Bessie Legault. Bess has a passion for food security and has worked with the Northern Environmental Action Team to create the Northern Cohort, a support network for local farmers. Through workshops, information sessions, and a student work program, Bess has been helping local ranchers, grain farmers, market gardeners, and others to improve the sustainability of their operations, implement new concepts and ideas, gain access to funding for trials, and access to new and broader markets. She is the president of the Women's Advisory Committee for the National Farmers Union and the president of the Fort St. John Farmers Market. All of her work has garnered national and even international attention for agricultural innovations being pursued in the Peace region. The community of Fort St. John has benefited as a whole from Bess's work, which has involved established farmers, newcomers, community gardeners, and anyone interested in local food.
Well, we are all sniffling from the Lifetime Achievement Award, but this award goes to another group of individuals this year. This group of individuals comprising the COVID-19 Seniors Task Force came together in response to challenges around COVID-19 to support the seniors and the vulnerable folks in Fort St. John to stay connected, informed, and receive the much-needed services and resources during isolation and lockdown restriction. Although well immersed into the pandemic, this group has collaborated and showed great leadership in caring for seniors in our community by contributing to a seniors needs assessment, providing much-needed meals and other resources to our seniors, as well as being thinking partners for one another in solving some of the complex problems that have continued to plague and challenge the community organizations in our community. They have worked tirelessly to support seniors' well-being during the pandemic. Seniors in our community have benefited from the direct work and action of this COVID-19 task force. Anyone who has witnessed the work of this team coming together for the seniors in our community will have been inspired by their collaboration and teamwork in activities such as preparing and delivering meals, delivering prescriptions and other essential supplies, arranging transportation, and phone calls to check in over the Christmas holidays and into 2021. We can see the passion and the care they put into ensuring seniors in our community were well looked after and taken care of. It is yet another prime example and a testament to the type of impact that community organizations and social agencies have here in Fort St. John when they come together and really show up for all of the citizens in the community in times of struggle and need. And I also want to acknowledge that Northern Health and BC Transit worked really hard with this strong grassroots-based group. Hi. Who have we got on here?
Thank you, Mayor Ackerman. It's Laura with Better at Home and the BCCRN. And we really appreciate those kind words. All of us worked hard and we're already doing things in the community. And we really appreciate being brought together in this collaboration. There was so much more we could do as a group. And I think this is just the beginning. I think we're going to continue to work through the next phase of this pandemic, but we're also going to continue after and try to hit the needs of all the older adults in the community. So it was a real privilege to get to work with all of these different organizations and people, and I just can't say enough. So thank you very much.
Well, it's our gratitude to you, Laura, and to the entire team. Thank you so much. And it is fabulous to hear that you're looking at extending this collaboration and continuing to work together to support the seniors, the very much needed seniors and our vulnerable population. Thank you. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
So just some closing remarks. What an amazing group of people have been nominated, and the runners-up and the winners. Your influence in our community on history, sport, arts, culture, and business, social and environmental aspects is one that I truly admire. And our community, your community, is richer because of your efforts. And each year, as we watch the Community Awards ceremony, I continue to be impressed with the remarkable impact that each of you that were nominated bring to our community. So, my apologies, I'm still sniffling. I just want to say a few thank yous before we wrap up the evening, before I hand it over to Ted to wrap up the evening. The Community Awards program is administered by a committee made up of people from our city staff and council. And this year we had Councillor Stewart and Councillor Zubinsky, who I know worked very hard this year, along with Karen Carlson, our Director of Recreation and Legislative Services, and Naomi Gallant, our Community Development Coordinator. Without the work that you guys put in encouraging people to nominate others, we would not have the successful event that we have each and every year. So thank you very much. We're eternally grateful for what you have done. Thank you to all of those who nominated others. We look forward to great nominations again next year. Thank you. Over to you, Ted.
Ooh. And that about brings us to the end of the show. And now this is the third time that I've got to say, hey, I can't wait till we get to do this live and in person. And hopefully that's really soon. But I also wanted to say, hey, thank you. Thank you for all of those little acts of kindness that you're doing at home. Thank you for reaching out and taking care of your neighbors. Thank you for reaching out and taking care of family. Thank you for helping this community. Goodness knows it's been a really trying year, and I know that at any one time all of us have felt at the end of our wits. But thank you for pulling together. Thank you for falling apart together. Thank you for being Fort St. John, which really is the best place to live. I'd also like to thank our sponsors tonight, because we couldn't do this without them. Urban Systems, Northern Lights College. Thank you to everyone who helped make this possible. Thank you to behind the camera crew. We have Jesse, Ben, Adam, Russ, Kent, Joel. Without you, this couldn't have happened. Thank you very, very much. Cannot wait to see you in person or behind the screen, no matter what happens. We'll see you next time.